What a great introduction, huh? From a great senator. I want to thank Senator Harkin for that very generous introduction. You know, the last time, and some of you have heard me say this, the last time Senator Harkin introduced me to a group, it was a few years ago, he identified me as being with the National Committee to Preserve, Protect, Defend, and Improve Social Security and Medicare forever and ever. And I thought the name of our organization was already too long. But I thank the senator very much. And what company to be in. Both senators that I've admired for such a long time and known for such a long time. Senator Sanders, you remember the first time I came to Rutland and we had a town hall meeting. There was one of your constituents who wasn't too crazy about you, and he brought a life-size cutout into the room of you at age 22, 23, and harassed you. We had a drawing. We had a drawing for an American flag that had flown over the Capitol, and people put in their tickets. And this man was booed so much he was forced to leave. I drew his name. Remember? And Tammy Baldwin, I've been such an admirer of yours for so many years, and because of what you stand for. And also, and I've mentioned this to you a while ago also, because in 2004, when the Democratic candidates were debating in Des Moines, and I drove my mother over from Omaha, a lot of politicians wanted to talk to you, but you wanted to talk to my mother. So, thank you. Thank you to the ADA for this honor. Win Newman believed in and fought for progressive causes, for equality, his entire career. And I'm so proud to accept this award named after him. And Lynn Woolsey. Lynn, I've known you for a long time, and I want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for your commitment to social justice as a member of Congress and as president of ADA. And I want to remind you of one of those town meetings. I came out to your district with you, and I think it was Petaluma, your hometown, right? And I gave you a pair of red boxing gloves, the famous red boxing gloves, to go back to Washington and fight for seniors. And because of that gift rule that you mentioned, I couldn't let you keep them. I had to take them back and give them to our staff, to Phil Rotundi there. But I have given those gloves to many, many senators and many representatives over the last 25 years. No one has put them on more often, figuratively and maybe literally in your case, to fight for the middle class and to fight for seniors. So I want to thank you for all that. ADA is very lucky to have you at its helm. I don't know how many of you know this, but ADA and the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare share many things. We have a lot of things in common. But what you may not know is that we are both progeny of the Roosevelt family. Eleanor Roosevelt was one of the founders of ADA after President Roosevelt died. And their oldest son, James Roosevelt, who served in the House in the 1970s, founded the National Committee. So we're related by marriage. And the reason Congressman Roosevelt founded the organization in 1982, he said he wanted to preserve what he felt was his father's greatest legacy, and that's Social Security. And I know that both of our organizations are proud of that political lineage and our shared mission to keep the New Deal dream alive. It's, as Senator Sanders says, it's been an especially hard-fought battle in recent years. But we've had some victories, right? Some impressive victories. Victories that, frankly, I wasn't sure we were going to be able to achieve. But you will not see people in this room, the National Committee staff, posing in front of mission accomplished banners, because we know it's not over. We're not going to be standing there applauding each other because we know it's not over. And that drumbeat to cut Social Security that Senator Bernie Sanders has talked about has really drowned out what we should be talking about. The things you mentioned, Senator. We should be talking about what those cuts mean for millions of American families. You know, we should be talking about what would happen to those families who are not prepared for retirement, and what can we do to keep the middle class from being impoverished once they do reach retirement. And I think we've spent enough time fighting benefit cuts, and we need to do something to strengthen Social Security. And I know senators here are supporting that effort. Senator Harkin mentioned his legislation. We need to focus on what really matters. And yes, the majority of Americans want to preserve these programs and are willing and would support raising more revenue to keep these programs sound well into the future. That's why the bill Senator Harkin mentioned is one that we've endorsed and we support. We're not alone in this effort. Senator Harkin, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Baldwin have been promoting improvements to these programs. And the legislation that Senator Harkin talked about does that. It raises the minimum benefit by $70 a month. That's not a lot of money, but when you're living right on the edge, it is a lot of money. It would put in place something that I've worked on since I was with the Senate Committee on Aging, and that is a fair, accurate measure of the cost of living adjustment for Social Security benefits. And finally, it would bring more fairness into the revenue stream of Social Security. Now, what about Medicare? It's a great program, right? It is a great program, but there are huge gaps in Medicare. And when I have these town meetings, as I've had with you in California, I'm often asked, why doesn't Medicare cover vision? It doesn't. Why doesn't Medicare cover hearing, dental, things that are so important to everybody, and especially to seniors? We need to improve that program as well as Social Security. And I want to say that I'm glad to be in this company tonight, because in recent years, I think the Democratic Party has lost the support and the confidence of seniors. This is the party that created Social Security, created the Medicare program, and yet seniors, they're the ones that have the first-hand experience and knowledge about these programs, and they want elected leaders who will support these programs and improve them. And I think Democrats, not just ADA Democrats, but I think Democrats can regain that if they say the right things, if they talk about the values that are part and are at the heart of these social programs, Social Security and Medicare. And I'm talking about fairness, compassion. These are values I think that seniors want to hear. And I think Democrats need to say what they mean, and they need to mean what they say. And what I think they need to be saying is what Tom Harkin said when he introduced me years ago. And he talked about preserving, protecting, defending, and improving Social Security and Medicare forever and ever. Democrats need to start saying that. It's not a new argument. It's the argument for fairness, equity, economic security that was at the heart of the New Deal, and it's at the heart of what we should be talking about now. So I'm almost done, but before I finish, I want to acknowledge, even though Diane put the number down, it's table number 5. And table number 5, sitting at that table are some of the hardest working, most committed, most talented staff people of any organization in Washington, and they work for the National Committee to Preserve Social Security. So thank you. And also, I am especially honored that at that table I have sitting there two former board chairs of the National Committee, Paul Nathanson and Dr. Carol Estes. And Paul has his son with him, who is Ben Nathanson, and is a leader in the Democratic Senate Campaign Committee. Thank you for coming. And then finally, I want to introduce my partner for nearly 25 years, and someone who is the best veterinarian in the world and any other place, Dr. Monique Manier. So thank you, Lynn Woolsey. Thank you again. Thank you, Americans for Democratic Action, for your long and effective leadership on all of the issues we've all been talking about, and for this wonderful honor. Thank you.